Telling me right now is that you didn't only think that you were going to die, you thought you were going to be raped.
Yeah, I thought I was.
Get a therapist, honey. This is crazy. These people are mad because they thought the election wasn't fair. Now, you may disagree with that, but it wasn't about you. Surprise, surprise. So one question that ethicists and philosophers have pondered for quite some time is, what is Eric Swalwell afraid of? He's obviously not afraid of getting herpes from a Chinese spy, obviously, but there is something that makes Eric Swalwell very afraid. We've discovered his weakness. That's straight ahead. So you got to wonder what the people sent to Washington to represent us really worry about, if not that. What scares them? It's not the flooding of America with opioids. It's not hundreds of thousands of criminals coming into our country. No, none of that bothers them. You know what bothers them? Well, listen to Eric Swalwell. It turns out the thing that scares Eric Swalwell is not Americans dying from opioid ODs or criminals killing them. It's not even the Chinese spies he sleeps with, the STDs he may have. No, the real threat, says Eric Swalwell, is unarmed women who don't share his politics. Anyone who shoots these women in the throat is a hero.
He is a hero, Joy. I am alive today. My colleagues are alive because he had to make that fateful decision, one that no officer wants to make. But a mob was crashing through the doors into the speaker's lobby. I saw them. I heard the smashing, the pounding, the breaking of glass, the chanting. And had they gotten through, it was many of our more vulnerable members who were the last to leave that would have been overrun had that officer not acted so bravely.
How could you sit and listen to someone say that and not challenge it? You were going to get beaten to death by Ashley Babbitt, an unarmed woman who's under 5'5". She's going to beat you to death with her flag? You can disapprove of what Ashley Babbitt and the January 6th rioters did, and we do disapprove and said so, and still think it's a little much to shoot someone to death without even warning that person, and then refusing to tell us who did it? That's totally fine now? In what country is this anyway? Again, you can disapprove of what happened that day and still think an American citizen has a right to be warned before being shot. People are breaking into all kinds of buildings around the country for a year, and Eric Swalwell was endorsing it. Were they shot to death by unnamed agents? No, they weren't. But that's fine with Eric Swalwell. It's fine with Kevin Cramer, by the way, who's a Republican. It's fine with Lindsey Graham. It's fine with all of them. They don't care as your life becomes much more dangerous as long as they're safe and anyone who knocks on their door gets shot in the throat, and no, you're not allowed to know who did it or why. Sandy Cortez wasn't even inside the Capitol on January 6th. But she and Lindsey Graham are on the same page. We know that because occasionally Sandy Cortez tells us about her lived experience on January 6th. During a recent special on CNN, Sandy Cortez, did she ever stop talking about herself, by the way? She explained she wasn't simply afraid of being murdered by Ashley Babbitt. She was also worried about being raped.
There's a lot of sexualizing of that violence. And I didn't think that I was just going to be killed. I thought other things were going to happen to me as well.
So what sounds like what you're telling me right now is that you didn't only think that you were going to die, you thought you were going to be raped.
Yeah, I thought I was.
Sexualizing? Get a therapist, honey. This is crazy. These people are mad because they thought the election wasn't fair. Now, you may disagree with that, but it wasn't about you. Surprise, surprise. Sexualizing the violence. I was going to be raped by Ashley Babbitt. Imagine some Republican lady saying that about a BLM riot, as thousands of rioters descended on neighborhoods and burned businesses all over the country. Kenosha, Portland, Georgetown, Green Bay, Wisconsin. What would happen if some Karen said that? It was sexualized violence. Can you imagine? Probably go to jail for that. But Sandy Cortez can say it because the people rioting on January 6th had the wrong political views. So according to our media, those people are not simply rioters or dissidents, much less civil rights protesters. No. Watch Jeb Bush's former flak explain that these people are in fact domestic terrorists and deserve to be killed.
Well, can you fathom an example of a politician of either party meeting with the mother of a domestic terrorist? and the other party really just sort of shrugging it off? I mean, where are we?
Nicole, you were there in the Bush years. Can you imagine if President Bush had met with either the widow or a mother of a jihadist that had killed American troops?
A jihadist? A domestic this is very unhealthy. We should not allow our ruling class or the people who speak for them on television to begin to describe tens of millions of Americans as a kind of foreign enemy. That is really, really dangerous. This is crazy. You don't have to agree with what Ashley Babbitt did. You can, like us, disapprove of it. But let's be real. She didn't kill anybody. She didn't have a weapon. She was not a jihadist. She was just mad because she thought the election was stolen.